Okay, that was kind of funny. We were dropping hella frames there at the start of the stream, which I don't know why, but I think we're good now. I think we're fine now, because that was kind of scary. We were dropping hella frames. As soon as I click start. But welcome back to another episode of RCW. So, this is episode 17. So, Chris Danger is returning tonight against Ricochet in a no disqualification match. So, we have that going on. Last episode, we determined that Zero will be the one facing this man, Miles Anderson, the RCW World Champion, in a match for the title at the RCW Liberation pay-per-view. So, before we get going, I'd like to say a few things. Just something I've been thinking about, streaming-wise, for a little bit. So, some of you may not know, but before I went to Twitch exclusively, before I gained affiliate, before I actually had an agreement with Twitch, which is being a part of the Twitch affiliate program, I used to stream using Restream on Twitch, Mixer, and YouTube at the same time. For the sake of RCWs. And the reason why I did that is I wanted to branch out and I wanted to give more exposure to the show on multiple platforms. Because some people have multiple accounts for multiple streaming platforms. So, they may have a Twitch account, they may have a Mixer account, they may have a DLive account, they may have a YouTube account. That they go on. So, to have the same people follow you, either the same people, or to open up your content to other platforms is fantastic. I think it provides a lot more exposure. What's up, Zenix? I think it provides a lot of exposure to the show and to the content, because that's exactly what I was doing before. But obviously, with me being a Twitch affiliate, there is an agreement. At least that's what every other Twitch affiliate told me. There's an agreement where Twitch actually owns your content for 24 hours. So, legally, you can't use the Restream thing. But I watched Bullet Dozer's stream today. He's streaming right now on Mixer. So definitely go check him out. His everything's pretty much the same as far as his channel. His channel name's the same, everything's the same. It's just a different platform, different way of doing things. But I've been thinking, because I was talking to Dozer today and talking to Dozer last night, just about his experience with streaming Mixer, because he's only done it twice now, counting today. And I did it multiple times. I didn't really explore the features of Mixer when I was using Restream. I just kind of streamed it for the sake of having more exposure to the show, and to my content, because RCW has grown so much since then. Obviously I don't do the Restream thing anymore, obviously because I'm a Twitch affiliate, so I can't do that. But when I was doing it, I got people to come over here to Twitch that were from Mixer, DLive, and other streaming platforms, and I got people to come over here, thus growing all my other channels and growing pretty much my brand that I have. And so here's what I've been thinking. I'm gonna have Dozer help me set up the mix play and all the features on my Mixer account. My Mixer account is still the same as my Twitch. I haven't made a final decision yet, but I want him to help me set up that stuff up. I want to try doing a couple streams on Mixer exclusively, and see how it works, and kind of make my decision from there. And honestly, I have my own reasoning behind this. Obviously, Dozer had his own personal reasons for leaving Twitch and going to Mixer, but I've developed a community on here on Twitch, but I've also developed a good community on Mixer. Thanks, Zenix, for the follow on Mixer, man. I appreciate it. But I've also developed a good community on Mixer. I had a couple guys, when I used to stream using Restream, I had a couple guys come in and, I guess not necessarily raid me, but host me, because I don't think there is a raid thing on Mixer, but there is a host thing. And Dozer was telling me about it. I love the mix play, which are gifts that you can play on stream. So they function the same as alerts, but you can basically play them every 5 seconds. Like, there's a cooldown, you play them for every 5 seconds. And it's all customized. With Streamlabs bot, you can use YouTube and Mixer, so I would still have all the commands that I have. That wouldn't be anything different. The only thing that would be different is I would be missing the currency, which is titles, which is the Twitch currency that I have. That's the only thing that wouldn't be on Mixer if I were to make the entire switch. Like I said, this isn't a final decision. This is just something I've had up in the air for a while. But odds are I would like to stay on Twitch. That's the number one thing, because I've met so many awesome people on Twitch. Yes, there has been controversy regarding a particular streamer throwing her cat and then feeding her cat vodka or whatever, which is really messed up on Twitch's part, for not really doing what they should have done about that, and not to diss them, but that's just a poor taste in my opinion. There's a lot of wrestlers that I knew that were talking about it, and it was all over Twitter. People are still talking about it like it's a recent thing still. And I don't agree with what they did, which is they pretty much did nothing. They pretty much still let this particular person stream and stuff like that. After the ASPCA and other investigation agencies have gone in and investigated. But I'll leave it at that, honestly. I just figured I'd tell you guys. It's just something that I have up in the air. It's nothing permanent, nothing set in stone. But I want to get my Mixer account set up for stuff, just in case that's something that I think about doing. But as far as it goes, you're gonna see me on Twitch. As far as it goes, I don't plan to leave yet. I just figured I'd say that, just to give you guys news. So I talked to Slev as he was in Dozer's stream on Mixer, and he's not available this Sunday from what I'm understanding for the podcast. He said that he would message me. I told him that I go back to school on Monday. So another thing before we get going, my schedule is not going to change. What's up, Waba? Good to see you in here, man. My schedule is not going to change as far as streaming. I love streaming so much that when I schedule my classes, when I schedule my college classes, I schedule them around my streaming schedule if possible. That is why, if you are in college right now, if you're in college as a student like me, when they tell you to register for classes, do it right away. Don't wait for a couple weeks before. Do it right away, because you're going to pretty much guarantee that you're going to get the slots that you want to get. You're going to get the time slots. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I get out at 12:15. So odds are I will still be streaming at 1 p.m. I just happen to be streaming at 12 right now because it's during the summer and I don't have any obligations. Um, However, there will be some days where I can't stream just because I have to work on college work and stuff like that. So, another thing is, so yesterday I was on Twitter, right? I was on Twitter yesterday, and there's this guy named, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Valet? I don't know. Chris Van Velet, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. He is a wrestling interviewer for All Elite Wrestling, which is a brand new wrestling company that was founded by Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks, who are wrestlers. And it's been the biggest hype in wrestling since probably WCW and WWF and all of these different separate companies that were there in the 80s and 90s. And the reason why it's the biggest hype is because there's going to be no scripted promos, which means the wrestlers can pretty much say anything that they want within FCC regulations, because they're still there. It's going to be focused on more about wrestling and less about the backstage antics and, the putting on a show sort of thing. So you're not really going to see 15-minute segments of talking over and over and over, which is awesome. It's going to be more, I don't want to say more violent, but more catered to guys my age, so 20, teenager, 20, 30-year-old, which is awesome. So that means that there's going to be probably more cursing and, more adult things, which I think is great. Because, honestly, I don't like the cheesiness that WWE is. But it's going to be awesome. And they got a great roster. With that being said, how does this pertain to me? Well, this particular wrestling interviewer, I watched this wrestling interview where he was doing an interview with another wrestling interviewer. He was interviewing her, Alicia Toot. I got a chance to meet Alicia, actually, at an event, which was really cool. And, not only is she cute, but she was a sweetheart. She was an absolute sweetheart, so kudos to her. But those two have the biggest passion for wrestling I've ever seen. From somebody who actually doesn't do wrestling, they have the biggest passion I've ever seen out of anybody. Even including myself. And Chris, this interviewer, he said when he was talking to Alicia about, her schooling experience and how she got into wrestling. She did not go to college. She does not have any acting experience whatsoever, like myself. I have no acting experience, so I've never acted in drama club, never done that. But you have to act in the wrestling industry. You have to. Whether you're a backstage interviewer or you're an actual wrestler or whatever, you're still playing a part. You're still playing a character, regardless. Regardless if you're the interviewer being there. You have to react to things. You have to, get a vibe going, right? So, she said that she would often be looking in the mirror saying things, to see herself, right? And Chris said he went for communications in college, which is the exact same degree that I'm going for, which I thought was freaking awesome. And so I tweeted him the one day, and I told him that, that him going for that and him graduating with that degree made me a lot more hopeful in getting into the industry. Because I just never really heard of it. And you don't need to go to college to get in the wrestling industry. You don't even need to go to college to get a decent job. I feel like now the world has changed where you don't need to put yourself in student debt. to get a good job. Like, people are doing Twitch as a job. People are doing YouTube as a job. And they haven't gone to college. Yes, it's still a lot of work, of course, like with everything in life, but that just goes to show you that technology has made it so that we don't have to go to college and be in student debt for a job. Luckily, I'm not going to be in student debt. I'm financially gifted, I guess, that I'm not going to be in student debt. But anyways, the heart of the matter is, this guy went to college for the same degree as I did, and now he works for possibly the biggest wrestling company in the world aside from WWE. And that's insane. And I believe he's like in his 20s. So that's legit insane. He's interviewed Rosemary, which is my favorite wrestler of all time. He's interviewed tons and tons of wrestlers, legends. Ethan Page from Impact, Dolph Ziggler from WWE, The Miz from WWE, lots of other wrestlers. And honestly, if I could do that as a job and just go to wrestling events and just talk to wrestlers all day, I would do it. I would do it. Hell yeah. I don't care. I would do it. Because it's fun. I would talk to wrestlers when I would go to events as a fan, and even spending 5 to 10 minutes with them is fun. Talking about their career and really getting into the nitty and gritty of what they do is fun. So, anyways, it just gives me more hope that I will be getting into the industry that I want to get into. And he replied to me saying that, with a communications degree, you can do pretty much whatever you want. If you want something, go after it. Which is get out there and go after it. The only limitation is you. So I thought that was really cool. And I wish the best of luck to Chris on his endeavors in AEW, but it was really cool, and it just makes me a lot more hopeful. And with Twitch and RCW and what we've been doing here, it's because of you guys that it gives me a little bit of hope of me actually doing this as a career and as a job rather than me just getting on stream and doing this for the hell of it. I've always looked at this as a job, especially now that I'm Twitch affiliate, but I've always looked at it as a job in a way because wrestling consumes my life unlike any other thing in the world. Aside from school, my life is wrestling, so I consider this a job even though that I might not be getting paid $40 an hour for doing it or something like that. I still consider it as a job, so I want to thank you guys for that. But with that being said, let's get started here with Miles Anderson versus AJ Styles. So, many of you are probably wondering what's the next step for RCW. So, we are on episode 17 right now. This is episode 17. We have 18, 19, and 20, with the 20th episode being the Liberation pay-per-view. And then we are going to stop in terms of the episodic seasons of RCW and wait for 2K20. So, what does that mean for 2K19 and for streams going forward? Well, as far as streams, I'll probably just be streaming random games that I like. Or I might just be doing requests. Like doing these streams where I just do requests of matches that you guys want to see and me commentating them or something like that or whatever. I don't know. Some cool new things. But as far as the YouTube content side of things with my career universe modes and stuff like that, that's still going to remain a thing because those my career episodes, those only focus on Luna Outlaw and Brian Outlaw. Those don't focus. The RCW focuses on multiple characters and multiple storylines, so it's easier to keep track of. And I already have 2K20 pre-ordered, the deluxe edition, and it comes out October 22nd, so I will get right on that and start recording that. So, or start creating the RCW arena and all the titles and stuff once the game comes out. So, after this season, we're going to stop RCW for the seasons, obviously. But on August 21st, and this is very important, guys. This is very important. On August 21st, we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of this show. And I consider it my stream anniversary, even though it's not the first day I started streaming. I consider it my stream anniversary because it's the day that I started streaming seriously. It's the day that I decided that this is what I wanted to do. It's really where, and honestly, starting this and having the community that I have on Twitch is the reason why I switched majors and moved an hour and a half back home to be 5 minutes away from my university that I go to and to actually pursue a career in the wrestling industry. I gave up music to do this, all because of you guys and all because of this show, and the passion that I have for wrestling. So I have to thank you guys for that. So I consider that my stream anniversary. So please, if you can, definitely tune in to that. What I will be doing is I will be doing special outfits, special attires, and I will also have 1 year anniversary merch being made for the merch store. That is in my Twitch panels, which you guys can buy to celebrate this 1 year anniversary of the show. So it should be very exciting. And again, thank you guys for making the show what it is. And honestly, enjoying it. Even for those of you that aren't fans of wrestling, that, just enjoy the content that I produce. And I guess sort of, I don't know the proper wording, but feed off of my passion for it, I guess, and come to it just for the sake of me and the passion that I have for it, rather than, oh, I love wrestling. That says a lot, because I've met people through my streaming communities, whether it was on Mixer when I was doing the restream stuff, or on YouTube when I was doing the restream stuff, or on Twitch when I moved to Twitch exclusively. All of these platforms and whatever, when I was doing this, and I've met people who don't necessarily watch wrestling, like watch it on TV or know what it is at all, but still enjoy it by watching me play it, and the passion that I have for it it's great. I'm glad that I was able to have that effect on you, to know that even though that you may not enjoy wrestling as in like you watch it on your cable TV, but you come here and you watch the content that I produce just for the sake of loving the content that I produce and doing the things that I do. I'm very appreciative for that. We also have a new command in chat. I would also like to say that we have a new command in chat. If you enter !King, you'll hear Jerry the King Lawler say something. You'll hear him say something. I actually got the chance to personally meet him, and that was an incredible experience, as he is one of my biggest heroes in the professional wrestling industry. So I'm excited to I was excited to meet him, and it was definitely an honor to be in the same presence as somebody that's considered a legend in the industry that I'm getting into. So he wished me luck on everything and all of that good stuff, and I'm happy that I got a chance to personally meet him. Well, let's get back to the matches. That's what you guys came here for. So we got Miles Anderson, the RCW World Champion, here, taking on AJ Styles, who is one half of the Tag Team Champions, in AJ Maximum with Maxim Maniacal Mercury, as a hip toss there from Miles Anderson there. And Miles Anderson will be facing Zero for the RCW World title, as Zero, in the last episode, on Monday, he had won the Fatal 4-Way match with Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, and Roman Reigns to become the #1 contender for said title. As far as the stipulation goes for that match and what kind of match it's going to be, that is yet to be determined. But I promise you guys that pay-per-view, the Liberation pay-per-view, is not one to miss. Not only is it the season finale, but it is also the end of the 2K19 cycle of RCW on 2K19. So make sure you tune in for that. That should either be Monday, Wednesday, or Friday on any given week, and I will let you guys know about that because I'm pretty good about that. Is AJ Styles with the Pele kick on Miles Anderson. Now AJ going for the calf crusher, but a rope break saving Miles Anderson there as there's a little bit of damage done for the leg, and AJ Styles looking for a victory here over Miles Anderson. Got a 2 count here, and Miles Anderson with the kick out. Now, some of you may have asked me, like, what's going to be different on 2K20 as far as, like, RCW. So from the information that I do know about it, in regards to some of the match types, is AJ Styles is going for a huge, phenomenal forearm here. Phenomenal forearm, no, Miles Anderson gets out of the way, but again, like I was saying, there's going to be mixed tag matches, which means there's going to be a man and a woman being able to tag together. So that should be another match type that is going to be very interesting. We could have Brian Outlaw tag with Luna Outlaw or Sky Outlaw, one of his sisters. We could have Brian Outlaw tag with Paige, if she's in the game, which I suspect she will be because she's still with the company. We could have all these tons of different match types and variety for the show, which I'm excited. And that's pretty much the information that I do know. So, but as far as Cause, which are created wrestlers, you're not going to see a lot of the created wrestlers. You're going to see the Outlaws, you're probably going to see Zero, you're probably going to see Hydro and Hyde Rock, and some of the wrestlers. But some of the wrestlers that you've seen in seasons prior are probably not going to make a return. And the reason being is because, depending on the roster of 2K20, I want to focus on the current superstars as well as the most popular superstars that I've created, the most popular Cause. So like Miles Anderson, for instance, the Outlaws, Zero, for instance, Max Mercury, some of the more popular guys. As Miles Anderson goes for a pin here, and AJ Styles with a kick out at 2. And, like I said, it's, we're just not going to have many Cause this year, at least on my end. So I will still have your Cause. I will still have, the currency will still be there, and you guys will still be able to create your Cause. I just won't have a lot of them compared to this year. And the reason being is because it takes a lot to make these Cause and what I do for them and make them super detailed, and how I do things. It's just difficult to make, 500 movesets and stuff like that. But the only Cause you'll be seeing are the ones that I can actually download and not have to do anything with. So I can download, a Rosemary Caw or a Tony Storm Caw. I don't mind downloading guys from Community Creations because that means somebody else created them and I don't have to spend 20, 30 minutes making a moveset for them. I do want to get the Outlaws created. That's my #1 priority. So you may see the Outlaws look a little bit different in 2K20 depending on the new creation features that we have and some of the new features that we have in the game that are given to us. So it should be really exciting as Miles Anderson looking to pin AJ Styles here. 1, 2. Oh, and I thought he got him, but that was about 2.9 there. Again, Miles Anderson looking for manifest here, or possession, excuse me. But I'm excited. I'm really excited. I always get excited when the new WWE game comes out. And AJ Styles again with the kick out. And again, Miles Anderson going after that arm with that arm bar. Locking in the leg there and the arm. Wrenching on the arm of AJ Styles, trying to get him to tap out here. Trying to cause as much damage as he can to AJ, but AJ gets out of that. Gets out of dodge there. But a drop kick sending AJ down. As Miles Anderson looks for manifest here on AJ Styles. But AJ Styles turns it around and a kick to the hamstring. Same with Miles there with a punch to the back and a backstabber to the back of AJ Styles. Personally, I think Miles should just go for manifest here and just end this thing, and that looks to appear what he's gonna do. Here is a manifest on AJ Styles. 1, 2, 3, and the world champion gets the victory over the phenomenal AJ Styles to start off the show tonight. But Miles definitely has to have 0 in the back of his mind, as that is his opponent for the Liberation pay-per-view. As we move on to our next matchup here. And we have Hydro and Rock taking on a former tag team champions in Finn Balor and Aleister Black. If you guys remember possibly all the way back to, I think it was season 1, all the way back to the debut season, if my calculations are correct, if my memory is not fading away. I'm only 20 years old, but you know, some things happen. Finn Balor and Aleister Black used to be a tag team together known as Black Hole before breaking up and going their separate ways. So they are reuniting to take on the new tag team and Hydro and Rock. So let's see how this match fares. So I'm really excited to have a new WWE game out. Also, with Chikara Action Arcade Wrestling, there's supposed to be some news coming out about that game as well, which I plan to start another wrestling show through that game when that game releases. And that game is a more arcadey game. So that should be more fun. So we're going to start our own wrestling show through that too, with a different name, different wrestlers and everything. So that should be fun. I got a chance to try out the Creation Suite when they offered a beta for it. Let's get this going here. As obviously these two don't come out as a tag team anymore, with them no longer being a tag team, and it looks like Hydro's going to start this one off, and a Hurricane Rana taking down the Demon Finn Balor. Can you imagine if Aleister Black and Finn Balor are able to get a win here, but Aleister, being the smart one, tags himself in. I don't know if that was very smart on Hydro there to have Finn be in his own corner, but Aleister Black with the reversal looking for a knee strike, but no, Hydro had that coming. Ooh, tried for a drop kick, but miscalculated the distance on that one, and Aleister taking advantage by going after the arm of Hydro. And these two luchadors, they are high flying, as that is in the Lucha Libre culture with Rey Mysterio and many other luchadors such as the Lucha Bros in Phoenix and Pentagon. Who tried for a double team there, tried to tag in Rock, but that's not going to happen. And just throwing Alistair into the turnbuckle there. Ooh, and a big uppercut there to follow it up, and a sling blade. Taking down Alistair Black. And now he's going to tag in Rock. As these two have so much chemistry with each other back on the Lucha Libre scene down in Mexico. And a backstabber to Alistair Black there. Alistair Black, though, making the tag to Finn Balor, as that was a desperately needed tag there. But it appeared that Rock was ready for it, as Finn Balor would the rollout. Ooh, Finn Balor tried for an elbow, and he missed the first time, but he got him the second time. As Rock tried to use the ropes to gain some leverage there, or possibly get back to a vertical base, but no, as Finn Balor with the elbow and a clothesline right away, stopping Finn Balor in his tracks there, as Alistair Black is getting back on the apron. Ooh, and Rock tried to take care of Alistair Black there. He looked like he no-sold that punch and a shoulder tackle off of the apron. And now after Finn Balor again, taking Finn Balor down now. Tried for a super kick perhaps, but Finn Balor saw that coming. Tried for a drop kick, but a super kick to Finn Balor. And Finn Balor's down here. Rock looking to finish Finn Balor here. Rock and roll driver there. Driving the head of Finn Balor into the mat, as Hydro is looking to get Alistair Black, but that's not going to happen. An exploder suplex. And now Hydro's got to stay. Down on the outside for a bit, so Rock has no one to tag to. But Finn Balor is getting his butt handed to him right now. Well, but he looks to change that, trying to, with a shoulder tackle and possibly a splash into the corner. Ooh, look for a cover, but drives Finn Balor down to the canvas. And it looks like Hydro's getting back to his bearings and getting right back up. And Rock is going to wait for him. And he tags in Hydro. As Hydro got right back to the apron after taking that exploder suplex from Alistair Black. And again, Hydro and Rock very skilled together. Very, very skilled. Oh, tried for a move there, but an elbow right from Finn Balor, but a kick right to the hamstring. And Finn Balor with the Irish whip into the ropes. Finn Balor looked for a body slam there, but another kick to the hamstring. And Hydro lifting up Finn Balor and slamming him down with a huge powerbomb. And Alistair Black with the breakup there, but a sling blade from Rock. And Finn Balor is left alone as Rock is working on Alistair on the outside. He probably should have left Alistair alone though. As again, Rock working away on Alistair Black on the outside here. And again, Irish whip to the corner. Ooh, but Finn tried to come back, but again, Hydro has it scouted. And Finn Balor finally getting some offense in this match. And a knee right to the face. You have to wonder, how much does that mask actually protect? Hydro, ooh, is Finn going for the coup de grace here? But no, a splash instead. I thought he might have been going for the coup de grace, but it looked kind of early for that. And Finn Balor finally makes the tag to Aleister Black. After so much punishment, and now Hydro in a little bit of trouble as a stomp right to the chest. And another stomp. Double stomp that time. But Aleister getting pushed away a little bit. Trying to get himself fired up, but an elbow right to the face. Exploder suplex again. And an elbow. Elbow again. But a quick reversal there from Hydro. But a quick reversal from Aleister, and this is going back and forth. Back and forth with these two. German suplex from Aleister Black. And Hydro deciding to roll out there. It was probably a good decision in a Hurricane Rana, taking Aleister down and finally making the tag to Rock, as that was desperately needed there. Got to keep him grounded. Got to keep him in the corner of his partner. DDT on Aleister, and that appeared to bust Aleister wide open there. Super kick on Aleister Black. Going for the cover, though. 1, 2, and no, Aleister with the kick out at 2.5. Looking for rock and roll driver here. Rock and roll driver on Aleister Black. Driving the head face first. And Aleister with the kick out at 2.5 again, as Hydro is taking care of Finn Balor there. Ooh, but I guess Hydro tried, or Aleister tried for a side suplex there, but unable to connect. I thought Rock was going to tag in Hydro there for the time being, but I guess no. Guess not. Thought against it. And look at this double team that's about to come here. Double team is Hydro with the stomp and a knee right to the face from Rock there. What a double team work from both of them. And the kicks, what a combination there. Kick after kick into the drop kick right afterwards. Irish whip into the corner now. Ooh, but Aleister turns it around. And again, these two going back and forth in this match. Dropping Aleister with the powerbomb. 1, 2, and no, Aleister kicked out again. And now Rock lifting up Aleister and slamming him down as he's got to get out of the ring. As Rock gets tagged in. They're just having their way with Black Hole. Maybe there's a reason why they broke up as a tag team. Maybe they just don't have it anymore. They don't have that connection that they once had. And a cutter on Rock, looking to get the pin over Rock here, but unable to. Black Mass on Rock, and again. And Rock was able to kick out. of the black mass there. I thought it could have been over there. We tried for a clothesline, but unable to connect. Oh, tried for a super kick, but missed. And a backbreaker there just to take down. Alistair. And a hip toss there. Now looking to take care of the Demon. But the Demon, Finn Balor, firing back with a punch of his own. Little groggy though. Trying to go for a shoulder tackle, but Finn saw that coming. Despite Alistair and Finn not working as well as they used to. You know, it seems like Finn's being a little smart here. Oh! What's Hydro and Rock going for here? A kick right to the side of the face there. What a double team work. And Finn was right there to break up that pin. And a sunset flip. And Hydro was right there to clean up the pieces. But again, a clothesline, but no. No clothesline today. Multiple kicks to the back and a stomp right to the back of the leg there from Hydro. Looked for a knee strike perhaps, but no. And a knee right back to him. And dropkick taking down Alistair now. As Hydro has Alistair right where he wants him, and a dropkick again to the chest. Can he connect with it long enough as Rock is getting back to his feet? Powerbomb there, one. And he got him. He got Alistair Black. Perfect pin timing there as Finn Balor was just getting back to his feet. He tried to get into the ring in time, but unable to. As, again, Hyde Rock proving their dominance over two very decorated tag teams. Even though the Alistair Black and Finn Balor aren't a tag team anymore, when they were dominant. So they have had two victories. One over the Lucha Bros. And one over Black Hole. Or formerly known as Black Hole anyway. So that might put them in line for a title opportunity as we head into the Liberation pay-per-view. But we have Luna Outlaw versus Violet Knight here. Now, Luna Outlaw, after her countless failed attempts to gain the women's title back from Noelle Diamond, you know, she's turned over a new leaf, I guess. You know, with her finally unmasking at Turmoil, because she used to wear a mask to hide behind her insecurities a little bit, cover up her insecurities, but she let go of those, and she's been a completely different person as a result of it. And I think it's helped her out in many ways. But Mercy Phantom will be the one facing Noelle Diamond at the Liberation pay-per-view for a title shot, as she's had quite the momentum swing lately. Now, as far as when the podcast is going to start, like I said, we don't have a set in stone date for that. I talked to Sled today. He said that he would message me. I have a scene basically like blanked out for it. I have a scene like set up and ready to, mess around with. So hopefully this week, at least, it's not going to be Sunday though, as far as I know. But hopefully this week, Sled said something about tomorrow. Him being free, possibly. Or maybe even Friday, which is actually one of my streaming days. We might be able to do it then. But if we're able to do it tomorrow, I would love to. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to get you guys' hopes up just to have it be canceled again or have it not be happening on that day. So that's actually pretty cool. I want to take a picture of that. That's actually pretty sick. Her sitting there with the boots lighting up. But Violet Knight making her way out here as we get this underway here. But, I don't want to get you guys' hopes up for anything as far as, like, what day it's going to start. But it's something new. It's something that, obviously, I've been really hyped about because I've been mentioning it almost every stream that we've had as of late. And I'm really excited about it. It's something that's going to be different on the channel that's still going to be relevant to the world of wrestling. So, in case you're new around here and you're not familiar with my channel, I'm Botch TV, and I do a lot of wrestling content. I do the RCW stuff as well as, a lot of other WWE stuff and the upcoming Angle podcast where I have guests on the show and we discuss topics of wrestling. So, that could be from what makes a good rivalry, what generates heat in a rivalry, the proper way to make a good match, how can you make a 3-star match into a 5-star match and make it rememberable, stuff like that. There's a bunch of things that I have planned because wrestling is such a broad thing, and there's so many things that go into wrestling that I think that's why, a podcast that centers around it, could be very interesting and eventful because a lot of people are casual fans. They don't know the work that goes into wrestling. They just see it from their view perspective, like as a viewer, and they don't see it like, me and Slev do, or, some of the more hardcore fans do. So I think it'll offer a perspective for those that don't necessarily know that. Which is what we're trying to do with the podcast. That is our kind of goal, to get people to look at wrestling as a competitive thing, as an actual sport, and because I feel like a lot of wrestlers, they don't get enough credit as much as like football athletes do, because everybody's like, whoa, it's scripted, and they think of it being, with it being scripted, they don't think of it as like, like risking your body, because they're like, oh, they're acting, or they're doing this, or they're doing that. But there's still a lot of risks involved, and we want to make people realize that. We want to make people, realize wrestling for what it is. And I think the podcast is going to be a good place to do that, as Luna Outlaw looks for a blackout here on Violet Knight, and as she connects with it, and looking to connect a Dawning to follow it up with. And a rope break saving Violet. That is a big mistake there by Luna. Big mistake, not realizing where Violet was. As Violet takes advantage by throwing Luna down. And the first episode of this podcast, which I hope gets premiered this week, is we are going to be talking about what wrestling gives us. We're going to be talking about, why we enjoy it so much and why we think that there is this loyal fan base to it. Why wrestling is still relevant in the world today. Why it should be relevant, just as relevant as the Super Bowl. And what makes it different from, a football fan base or a soccer fan base or other fan bases, and why people enjoy it, and why we enjoy it after so many years, and with Slev being around in the ECW WCW days, the glory days of wrestling, as some people would call it, I would like to get his thoughts on it and why he loved it as a kid, like what made him fall in love with it. Because you guys basically know the reason why I fell in love with it. So, with that being said, like I just want a different perspective, and I think Slev can give that. We'll also have an episode where we interview a fellow streamer, / pro wrestler, and we talk about his career, how it has helped him with streaming, what wrestling has given him as a competitor. Because I actually personally talked to him on Discord for a couple minutes. I got to chat with him for like 5 to 10 minutes or so. And in the conversation that we had, there were some eye-opening things that I didn't realize. And I really think it would be awesome if he were to share that. And so I went in his stream one of these days, and I asked him personally if he wanted to be on the podcast and if he wanted to tell his story. And so that is going to be sort of a different style of episode. I won't be doing a lot of talking. I'll possibly just be doing a lot of asking as Violet hits nightfall here on Luna. I'll be doing a lot of asking rather than talking, but I'm pretty sure both of us can spark the discussion. And one of the reasons why I wanted to have him on is because his story is just very unique and very interesting, and I think it gives a lot of insight on why people love this business, why people love wrestling, what it does for them. And I always find that interesting to hear competitors and their story on why they got into the business. I always find it to be very intriguing, very interesting, and I hope that you guys do too. So with that being said, I'm excited to have that as a DDT there from Luna. She is just taking it to Violet Knight right now. And these two have been in matches before. You've seen these two in matches before, but nothing like this until now. As Luna is looking for Into the Shadows here on Violet. Into the Shadows on Violet, but Violet somehow gets out of that fairly quickly. Now, Violet using the ropes to her advantage, as that is completely legal here. And now looking for that super kick there. Looking for that super kick, but no. Luna ducked out of the way. Luna ducked out of the way into a Samoan drop right there. Looking for a blackout. Going for a blackout again. Blackout again. Looking for Into the Shadows again. Into the Shadows right after. What a great sequence. And again, Violet's able to get out. But a punch to the midsection there. Good camera angle there. And a Falcon Arrow off of the rope. Got her foot off of the rope there. Possibly trying to drag her to the middle of the ring. And that's exactly what she does there. Going for a cover. 1, 2, and no. Violet barely kicked out. You guys saw that? Right there, barely kicking out of that. And you could tell by that she has very little energy left. And a standing moonsault there from Luna Outlaws. She is very agile. That is one of the things she shines at. Gonna hit up with some Apex. Thank you, Zero, for the lurk, man. I appreciate it. Have fun on Apex. You're better than me at that. I mean, there is tons of reasons why I don't stream Fortnite or Apex or anything like that. It's because I suck at it. And I'll tell you, like, if I suck at a game, I'm really not gonna have fun at it. Like, I'm not gonna have fun if I'm not good. So that was weird. Luna glitched for a little bit. Did you guys see that? She just kind of glitched in that position there. It's a shoulder tackle there from Luna on the outside. Here we go. Here we go. Luna throwing caution to the wind, and she does. She takes down Violet Knight on the outside. What a move there, as Violet is barely moving after that. Count of 4 there from the ref. Uh-oh. Luna, what's she going for here? Kick to the midsection. Power bomb through the table. Oh, as Violet somehow got back to her bearings there and just tossing Luna onto the outside. I don't know how she's moving. Oh, tried for a blackout, but no. And a face first into the ring post there. And again. Count of 8 there. 9. And Violet wins via countout. Violet was able to get the victory over Luna via countout. I don't think that was smart on Luna there to try and punish her by putting her through the announce table, but Violet was able to take advantage of that and use the referee's count as an advantage. Not the way a match, you would probably want a match to end as a competitor, but you know, that sometimes happens. As Samoa Joe faces Randy Orton, the RCW Carnage Champion. Now, as far as we know, he does not have an opponent for the Liberation pay-per-view for the title, and all titles must be put on the line under RCW rules, so he will have an opponent at some point. Some point soon enough, he will have an opponent. Just a matter of who. And Samoa Joe walking out with a look of determination on his face. He knows there's an opportunity at stake. If you pin the champion, he might find himself, or submit the champion, as he likes to use the Coquina Clutch to close out matches. You might find yourself an opportunity at a title match, and it'll be, I believe, Samoa Joe's first ever title match opportunity if he ends up getting one here. And he's going to face this man right now, RCW Carnage Champion, the Viper, the 3 most deadliest letters in sports entertainment, RKO. I swear, the RKO is possibly one of the hardest moves to reverse in this game. Like, you have a split second to reverse it. But you see that red title right there for Randy Orton, and he doesn't look to let go of that anytime soon. But let's get to the match, guys. It's Samoa Joe and Randy Orton. Oh, I think Samoa Joe whiffed on that a little bit, and a senton. Imagine like a big man like Samoa Joe having his full body weight just crushed right on top of you. That's something that you definitely don't want to feel, and he's going for that again. A senton again right on the chest of Randy Orton. And it's definitely got to knock the wind out of you, and Randy Orton definitely does not want that to happen, and an elbow drop right to the chest of Samoa Joe. And a kick to the back of the Samoan submission machine here. Ooh, but a kick to the midsection from Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe lifting up Randy Orton and driving the knee down into the canvas. If it were me, I'd go after the shoulder of Randy Orton. Randy Orton has definitely had shoulder injuries in the past. But an arm drag there by the Apex Predator. Randy Orton, and he takes down Samoa Joe. Randy Orton with a kick to the midsection. A punch. It's Randy Orton going for here. Ooh, getting the throat of Samoa Joe right on the bottom rope there. Dragging him to the middle of the ring. Towards the middle, I should say. But only a count of 1 there. Samoa Joe is still very fresh in this match, as well as Randy Orton. Ooh, but the quick strikes from the Samoan submission machine, but Randy caught one. Samoa Joe with the reversal on the apron and throwing Randy Orton with authority back into the ring, and a senton again. And again, those multiple strikes, but he caught one. Caught a punch of his own. And Samoa Joe finding himself in a bit of trouble here. And a knee driven right into the back of Samoa Joe here. Now working away on the neck of Samoa Joe. Randy Orton trying to fire himself up here. Going for a cover. 1. And no, Samoa Joe with the kick out at 1 again. Ooh, now a punch to the midsection. Lifting up Randy Orton. Taking him down with a Samoan drop. That's that Samoan heritage there. Uranagi on Randy Orton. Into a cover right away. 1. And no, Randy Orton with the kick out. No surprise there. But what a sequence there. First a Samoan drop and then a Uranagi. Ooh, but a kick right to the midsection. Randy Orton. This is vintage Orton here. DDT on Samoa Joe. Oh no, Randy's looking to take Samoa Joe to that place. Looking for RKO, but no. No RKO today. Belly to belly on Randy Orton. What a reversal from Samoa Joe, getting out of dodge there by reversing the RKO. Looking for another Uranagi on Randy Orton. Into a cover. 1, 2. No, Randy Orton again with the kick out. Possibly looking for the Coquina clutch. Looking for the Coquina clutch here on Randy. He's got it locked in. Is he gonna lock it in fully? Coquina clutch on Randy Orton, but a rope break as Randy Orton is able to get his arm. I believe his arm underneath the rope there. That was veteranship by Randy Orton, and a couple of kicks right to the head. And another senton. Ooh, and a chop. Right to the back of Randy Orton there. I really haven't seen back chops, but I guess that'll work. Daddy Dracula, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. And a knee right to the face of Samoa Joe here. Now Randy Orton on the comeback here. The RCW Carnage Champion looking to end Samoa Joe here with a power slam. Sorry there. Got a little sore throat there. Got a little too excited. And the vintage Orton stomps there from Randy Orton. Here on a cover 1, 2. And Samoa Joe with the kick out at 2. And Randy Orton is livid at the referee there. Oh no. Randy Orton looking to take Samoa Joe to that place. Looking for RKO again, but Samoa Joe yet again reversing the RKO. And I said that was one of the most difficult moves to reverse in this game. Like, you gotta be, like, quick, man. As Randy Orton with the reversal there, now working again on the neck of Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe definitely proven his worth here against the RCW Carnage Champion. And a cover, but I don't know. Maybe that was a little bit out of frustration and Samoa Joe deciding to roll out to the outside. Deciding to get a breather from Randy Orton. And driving the knee right onto the floor. Now that floor is very unforgiving. What's Samoa Joe going for here? Powerbomb on the outside. Into a Boston Crab here on the outside, but it's not going to count anyway. It's not going to count. A blow to the leg, count of 7. And Samoa Joe getting in and out of the ring to break the referee's count. Very wise there as he tosses Randy Orton back into the ring. And now both men are finally back in. You cannot give Randy Orton any time at all. You can't give Randy Orton any breaks. Because one downfall, one RKO, and it could be over. He has ended a lot of matches with that move. And it only takes one RKO to get to Viperville. As Randy Orton likes to say quite a bit. There's a reason why it is the 3 most deadliest letters in sports entertainment. And Samoa Joe with a buckle bomb on Randy Orton. Looking for a Uranagi here. No Uranagi today. Uh-oh. Samoa Joe could be in huge trouble here. An uppercut there. What's Randy Orton going for? No, Randy, not this. Not this. Not an RKO from the top rope. And it's an RKO from the top rope. And Samoa Joe is lifeless right now. 1, 2... No, and Samoa Joe with the kick out at 2.5. Samoa Joe somehow still in this. He only hit 1 RKO. But it only takes 1 to get to Viperville, but it's going to take more than 1 to get rid of Samoa Joe. Ooh, but a kick to the midsection from Randy Orton. And throwing Samoa Joe to the outside. the beauty of it is if Samoa Joe takes this fight to the outside, he cannot be pinned or submitted, but also the same goes for his opponent, Randy Orton, as well. Philosophical Brit with a raid of 5. Thank you. Thank you for the raid, my guy. I appreciate it. That alert has only gone off like 2 or 3 times in my whole entire streaming career on Twitch. But I love hearing that alert because it's so satisfying. Not just because of the raid, but just because I love that. I love that entrance song. I love Seth Rollins, so I love hearing that alert. Count of 7 here is Samoa Joe looking to get back into the ring as Randy Orton trying to get back to a vertical base here. And Samoa Joe able to meet him with a suplex. And both men are absolutely winded right now. Samoa Joe trying to pump up the crowd. But Randy Orton caught him into a snapmare here. Into a working hold. Trying to wear down the Samoan submission machine. It's very hard to roll down. To wear down Samoa Joe here. Is that man's a big man. Looking for another Uranagi here. But a German suplex instead. He's going for German suplexes. Maybe a little bit of dragon suplexes as well into a bridge. 1, 2, and Randy Orton able to kick out of those suplexes. Now dragging Randy Orton to the middle of the ring here. As Samoa Joe is going for the coquina clutch. Looking for the coquina clutch here on Samoa Joe. Coquina clutch on Samoa Joe. He's got it locked in. He's trying to get the champ to tap out here. I don't know if it's going to happen. And Randy Orton breaking out of that hold. Which two of these men are going to give? Definitely not Randy Orton, I don't think. You know, because Randy Orton hasn't really hit much as far as big moves, but Samoa Joe, on the other hand, has been punishing Randy Orton throughout this match. So it's only a matter of time before this happens. Oh no. Samoa Joe goes after the referee, and the referee is down. Anything in this match goes now. As Samoa Joe grabs a chair and hits Randy Orton with the chair. The official can't see it, so it's like it never happened. It's like it never happened. And that busted Randy wide open. Step up Vinciguri there just to Randy Orton. And Randy right now is in a world of hurt. Pushing him away. What's he going for here? Those suplexes once again. Those German suplexes. And that dragon suplex there. A little bit of a dragon suplex to follow that one up. And a German again. 1, 2, 3. And Samoa Joe defeats Randy Orton. But what a match. Those two pulled out all the stops to beat one another. But Samoa Joe, though. What's up, Slim Focus? Welcome to the channel. I'm Botch TV. I do a lot of wrestling content. I mean, you probably know that now because I'm doing it, but this is what I usually do on the channel, my own wrestling show, RCW here. So, if it's your first time here, and if you enjoy what you see, feel free to drop a follow. And Samoa Joe walking around the ring celebrating his victory. But could that mean Samoa Joe just earned himself a title opportunity? Who knows? We'll find out. As this is our main event, it's Chris Danger, the return of Chris Danger. The return of Chris Danger from a concussion injury at the hands of the Outlaws in an elimination tag match where it was Jason Outlaw and Brian Outlaw, the Outlaw brothers, against Jay Rogue and Chris Danger. And Chris Danger is making his return tonight in a no disqualification match against the one and only Ricochet. Now, Chris Danger, in case you're not familiar with him, he is a wrestler from one of my favorite content creators on YouTube, Dankops, Chris Danker, who does a lot of wrestling content. And, you know, what's the best way to create a wrestler? That's a tough one. It depends on what you are talking about in regards to creating a wrestler. Like, because there's a lot of stuff. There's character, there's the attire, there's the gimmick. Well, gimmick's sort of the same thing as character, but I would say a great character is probably the best way to do it. If you wanted to create a wrestler, like you have to know the personality of your character, because at the end of the day, you are playing a character, you are playing a part as an actor, you are playing a part. So you can have really badass attire, you can have really badass entrance music, but if you don't have a good character and you don't know how to talk on the mic and you don't know how to make the audience feel what you are saying is real and not something scripted, then you're not going to do well. For me, the best way that I've created a wrestler is create somebody that is a part of you personally. For example, like, don't entirely fake it. Like, yes, you are faking it for the sake of TV, but and entertainment. But if you fake it too much where it doesn't seem like you, it's not going to be believable for the audience. At least for me, I've been a wrestling fan since I was like 12, 11 years old, so going on for about 8 to 9 years now or something. And my biggest gripe with wrestling is the wrestler can be good at what they do as far as wrestling-wise. They can be phenomenal at what they do. In terms of in-ring, like, they can jump off of top ropes, they can do crazy freaking moves, but is their character good? Do I believe in the character? And do I believe of what you're saying? And I think that's a good way to do it. And that's just character-wise, because I go a little bit further in terms of making a character. I go as far as like doing I do this thing on an app on my phone called Social Dummy, where I make like fake tweets for the wrestlers. So I have to know the wrestlers' characters well, and that includes IRL wrestlers and created wrestlers. So I have to know the characters of Ricochet and real life wrestlers and think about what would they say. As far as created wrestlers, I create the character for them. Like the Outlaws, for example, they're all heels, they're all bad guys, so I have to act out those characters for them. So usually what I do for that, in the case of Brian Outlaw, who is based on myself in my life, with a couple of made-up things just for entertainment purposes, to get into character for him, I usually go on Facebook. Now, hear me out. I go on Facebook because I see stuff that pisses me off all the time on Facebook because I'm friends with idiots. luckily there's this feature on on Facebook where it's an unfollow feature, which means you're still friends with them, but you don't see their posts anymore. So I kind of, so I purposely get myself pissed off and angry so that I could be in the character of Brian Outlaw. So, because generally I'm not an angry, nasty person, but Brian Outlaw is. So, whether it's, and it's not just Facebook, but I'll usually use music. Like if there's a song that reminds me of my ex-girlfriend, which I hate her guts, she can go to hell. I hate her guts. So if it's somebody that I have an animosity towards, or that I just can't stand, or if it's something that I can't stand, I'm usually like, okay, I'm pissed off about that. Why am I angry about it? I have a reason. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm pissed off at this thing because of this reason. But how would Brian Outlaw react to it? And so that's how I think of it. It's like, how would Brian Outlaw react to that particular thing. I've uploaded him, yes. I uploaded him on the community creations. Yes, I have. What's this here? The Undertaker! The Undertaker... No, not PS4, Xbox, unfortunately. I'm totally against PlayStation as The Undertaker... just chokeslammed Ricochet. But The Undertaker couldn't get rid of Ricochet just yet as Ricochet kicked out, so Chris Danger can consider that. Maybe he needs to thank The Undertaker there. Maybe a thank you's in order as The Undertaker has returned. Here in RCW, we haven't seen him for quite some time. Maybe he's sending a message to Chris Danger, but who knows this? Chris Danger went for Taste of Danger there. 1, 2, and Ricochet with the kick out at 2.5. As this match continues to roll on. And Chris Danger grabbing a bat to Ricochet. Chris Danger grabbing a bat to Ricochet, and the referee is calling this match off. I think he's calling this match off, and Ricochet has won via disqualification. Again, Chris Danger going back to his old ways. He should have won via disqualification after The Undertaker attacked Ricochet, but I guess the referee didn't see that. But Ricochet wins the match via disqualification. But Chris Danger has returned to RCW action. What does that mean for the Outlaws? As the Outlaws, they don't like Chris Danger too much. They don't like him too much. After Brian Outlaw got injured at the hands of Chris Danger at the RCW Riot pay-per-view. And, you know, ever since then, the Outlaws have not taken kindly to Chris Danger. So, with that being said, that is our show, guys. So, for those of you that are new here, whoever just came in, and for those of you that are new, so, normally what I do after these streams is I export the streams over to YouTube. You can check out my YouTube channel. I believe I have a YouTube command if I enter... Let me see if I have it. I think I put one in there. Yeah, I do. Okay, there we go. So you can check out my YouTube there. There's also a link down in the panels if that link for some reason doesn't work for you. That's where you can check out all of my other streaming wrestling content. There's some of my old streams on there, like when I first started streaming and didn't really take it seriously, but, those are kind of That's just because I didn't start taking streaming seriously until I started the whole RCW thing. So, with this being Season 5, you guys can go all the way back to the beginning of RCW, from Season 1 all the way to Season 5. They're all in a playlist in chronological order. So you guys can watch it all the way back from the beginning. I highly suggest going back to Season 2, because that's when things start to pick up. You don't really need to go back, because if you don't want to, because none of this is like linear, but a lot of times I refer, when in my commentary and into certain things, I refer to storylines that go back from previous seasons. So for you to understand some of the things, it might be beneficial to you to watch the other content or the other episodes. But we are getting closer to the season finale of RCW, with it being episode 17 now. I do 20 episodes a season, ever since season 2, and with every 10th episode being a pay-per-view. So we did episode 10, which is the Turmoil pay-per-view, and then episode 20, which is the Liberation pay-per-view, which will be coming up soon. As far as, for those of you that are new, feel free to check out that content. I also have a Discord as well, which I will enter that command in there for you. So you can connect with me on Discord as well, with many other people who enjoy the show. They're my co-producer and co-writer, John, who helps me write out the storylines for the show. He's there. You can also check out UWGP, his show, on his YouTube channel. He posts a lot in the announcements. The Discord is more organized now than it used to be. So it's a lot more organized. You guys can talk to me and stuff like that. We also have a currency that's called titles. You can enter !titles in chat to find out how many titles you have. And with that, you can earn rewards such as creating an attire for a wrestler at a pay-per-view, getting a one-on-one discussion with me at the end of the season or middle of the season for an RCW storyline. And what that is basically at the end of the first half of the season, which is episode 10, I take a little bit of a break so other people can catch up and watch episodes that they have missed. In that time period, I am writing storylines for the second half of the season. And when you redeem that award, which I believe it's 6,000 titles, which you can get by following the channel, subscribing to the channel, interacting in stream, chatting, whatever, what have you. Anything that you can think of that's having to do with a stream, with the stream, you can earn titles. Thank you for the follow, Slim Focus. I appreciate it. And you can get titles, and you can chat with me in a one-on-one discussion. And what that is basically is I do what's called a voice call, which is just you and I 1v1. You either can use your phone. I believe you can use your phone for voice calls if you don't have a headset for the computer, or if you have a headset for the computer, you can connect that and use that as your mic, and we could talk about storylines for RCW. If you do decide to redeem those, for that reward, I highly recommend that you familiarize yourself with the show to kind of get an idea of how the show is run in terms of storylines and where the storylines are at now. So, for example, we have a storyline where Brian Outlaw is possessed by the demon assassin Rosemary. So, if there's a storyline or something that you think could further that storyline that's already going on, make it relevant to that storyline. Like, don't just completely be like, well, let's totally scrap that storyline that's already going on and start a new one. Because we're not going to do that. Because WWE does that a lot. They get something good going and then they scrap it at the last second. I want to play things through. I want to see how things get played out. So with that being said, like, I will take your ideas in consideration. We'll discuss stuff. Even if you don't know a lot about wrestling and you just watch it from the viewer's perspective, you'd be surprised. Some of the greatest ideas come from my viewers. So, even if you're not good at booking, or even if you're not the most creative person, I'm pretty sure with my help, with John's help, and with everyone that helps out with the show, we can make something awesome together. So, with that being said, thank you guys for joining me. I plan to get the RCW series done for 2K19 as soon as possible, because I want to get that 2K or 2K20 hype going. I'll have some videos. I'll record some videos to discuss some of the features as they get unveiled. There was a video that was released by WWE 2K with Xavier Woods discussing some of the features. But as roster information keeps coming, and as we get more information, because SummerSlam just passed, so we should be getting more information regarding the roster and regarding the game as soon as possible. The game's already pre-ordered, guys. The deluxe edition's already pre-ordered on my Xbox, so I will definitely be getting that ready for you guys. Wow. Let's see here. I want to look up. Not October 2020. I want to look up October this year. October 22nd is a Tuesday, so it normally comes out on a Tuesday of every year, which is fantastic. So Tuesday is my longer day at college, which is going to suck booty hole. It's going to suck because I'm going to be in class and I'm going to be like, I want to get home to play 2K20. I want to get home to make RCW stuff. So it might take a little bit for me to create some of the wrestlers. So you might not see Chris Danger right away. Chris Danger was actually a community-created wrestler, so you might not see some of the wrestlers right away. I want to make sure to get the Outlaws created because they are the most popular characters on the show, so that's going to be my number one thing. And then get the titles created. I have all the logos on my computer, so it's just a matter of uploading them to the community creations, getting that done. And we might have to wait for the return of Rosemary because I have to wait for good community creations of certain wrestlers. Obviously, with the deluxe edition, we get the VC accelerator, which means we unlock everything in the game, as well as the season pass, so we'll get DLC characters as well. So I'm excited to use a lot of the roster. Like I said, next year, or this year, I should say, for 2K20, we will not be using as many CODs as we do. I will still have the Outlaws, Rosemary and some of those things like that, but I won't be having as many CODs because the reason being is because it's just too much for me to create moveset after moveset. Because I go into full detail. I create logos for them. I make movesets for them. I want them to be different. I'll obviously make Max Mercury, Zero, and some of the newly debuted guys, and as well as the Outlaws, obviously. But I won't be making a lot of CODs this year, unless it's your COD. Which, if you earn enough titles, you can earn yourself the right to get a COD for this universe. And how that works, how you redeem those awards is through Streamlabs. And let me quickly explain how that works. So, if you're on PC, and you're watching this stream on PC, there should be a little green thing if you hover your mouse over the stream. And there should be a thing that says redeem titles or redeem whatever, and you can select an award. There will be some awards on there that don't work, that are like default ones that don't work. So don't waste your titles on that, because otherwise you're just going to waste your titles for nothing. So only the rewards in my panels work are the ones that I'm going to redeem. So you can check that out. If you're on mobile, however, there's a little when you go into the chat, there's a little icon you click, and you could click that, click redeem channels or redeem whatever, and select your desired reward. So that's how you redeem the rewards in the currency. But thank you guys for making the show what it is. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of RCW, which is the 21st of August, which is next Wednesday. So be here for that, as I plan to have something special. So even if we finish, what's the best way to do overalls? I really don't have a limit, but just don't make them overpowered. I recommend like giving your wrestler at least some weakness. Like even if he or she is like 95 overall or 98 overall, like give them some type of weakness that they're not good at that other wrestlers can take advantage of. Because the Outlaws, the way I do things is the Outlaws, they have their own weaknesses. Some of them are good at submission, some of them aren't. That's something that another wrestler can take advantage of. So even if your wrestler is 95 overall or even 100 overall, they have some type of weakness. I don't have the reversal limits on for the universe mode, so it doesn't matter in that category, but I would say the best way to do overalls is make your wrestler be balanced. Like, don't make them severely overpowered that they can escape submissions and escape everything. Obviously with the way I do things, that's a little different. I already predetermine the winners and everything else. And the way I do things different. So, one thing that I do is I press down on the D-pad to make the opponent kick out. So sometimes you'll be like, well, how did an opponent kick out with low health without resiliency? That means that I just made them kick out to create suspense and create matches. But that's how I do things in the universe mode. But I don't know how you do things when you play the game. But as a content creator, that's what I do. For the My Career Universe series, which you can check out on my YouTube channel if you want to check that out, I use the cutscene feature in the game, which is like under create a video or whatever. I do that to create some really cool stuff. I just recorded a video for the Brian Outlaw Universe mode. Thank God, I've been wanting to tell you guys about that. So the next episode of the Brian Outlaw My Career Universe mode is the first promo on the main roster for Brian Outlaw as a SmackDown Live superstar. And I actually cut that promo, meaning that I wrote it and I used Audacity, which is a audio recording software, to record myself saying the promo, and I added reverb to it. I believe there's like a little bit of an editing issue that I had there, so scratch that. But other than that, I think it turned out pretty good. It took me like 10 takes to do it properly, unfortunately. I wish it didn't take me that long, but it did. As far as a couple more things before we sign off here. As far as the Botched Calls YouTube series, where I call an AI versus AI match on legendary difficulty, the next match will be Rosemary versus Tony Storm, as you guys voted in the polls on Twitter and Discord. I recorded it, I edited it, and then I made some bad edits, and then I accidentally deleted the raw footage, so now I gotta record it again. Bad botch on me. I botched that, so that was terrible. I shouldn't have done that. I should have been real smart about that, but or more smarter about that, but I wasn't. So I will have that recorded. I will record some more of the Luna Outlaw My Career Universe mode series, because I wanted to line up with the Brian Outlaw My Career Universe mode series, because they're brother and sister, so it's within the same timeline. So I want it to line up as we will continue Luna Outlaw's journey through NXT. So I'm really excited for for what the future holds for this series. Thank you guys again for making the show for what it is. I hope to see you guys on the 1-year anniversary of RCW. It's going to be big. It's going to be fun. We'll have I will possibly create another arena for it. And a new logo for it and everything. Just to have something new, just to celebrate it. Because it's a big deal for me. It's when I started taking streaming seriously, and I want to do something big and special. So, hope to see you guys for that. If you can't tune in, that's okay, because I'll be exporting it right to YouTube, so you guys will be able to watch it after the fact. And I have VODs turned on Twitch, so you guys can watch it that way too. That way that you guys can have access to it. So I'm really excited to have this out for you guys and to be doing it for a year. It's been phenomenal. I didn't think that we would be doing 5 seasons of the show. We've done 3 full seasons now, 4 if you count this one. On 2K19. And I'm expecting to do a lot more on 2K20 with it coming out later this year. Instead of early October, it's going to come out late October. So I'm excited to do that. It should be fun. So if you enjoy the content that you see here, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. Like, I go back to college next week, next Monday for that matter, so nothing's going to change as far as streaming wise, except the occasional time where I'm not going to be able to stream because I'll be doing college stuff. But surprisingly, last semester I didn't have a lot of homework. A lot of the stuff I did was in class. So it wasn't too bad. And that's the thing I like about college is a lot of times you don't get homework. You just can't miss class. Like most of the work, like if you miss class in high school, it doesn't really matter. But if you miss class in college, it matters. Like I could miss 3 days of high school and not really care and not have to worry about anything. Because usually most of the time, you're not sitting in class for an hour and 30 minutes. That's a lot of material that a teacher goes over, so you don't want to miss that. Hopefully this semester will be easy on me and I won't have a lot of work to do. The only work that I really have seen is either projects, which is a lot of in-class stuff. There's not really much at-home stuff that I can do about that. And finals week. So when it gets towards May again, which is the year that I graduate next year, when it gets towards May again, or April, like mid-April or May or whatever, that's when it's crunch time, and that's usually the hardest part of the semester is towards the end. So that's when I had to really buckle down. So that may impact streams, but I'll try to the best of my ability to abide by the schedule. 1:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because I get out at 12:15. So, and I won't be eating lunch at school most of the time, so I'll be saving money that way. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and raid somebody real quick. I just got to check to see who is streaming right now. Because usually nobody on Twitch is streaming around this time. Except for a few people that I know. So we're going to go ahead and raid Mr. Zero the Beardo. My guy. He is playing Apex right now. He came into the chat a little bit ago. So we're going to go ahead and raid him. He's phenomenal at Apex. And his beard is so majestic. I swear to God. I'm jealous. But he is awesome. And I hope that you enjoy his content as well. And feel free to drop him a follow because he's just super cool. He supports a lot of people. And I wouldn't be following people that don't support each other. So you can count on that. So thank you guys for everything that you do for the stream. I'm excited to for next week for the 1 year anniversary of RCW. It's going to be fun. Feel free to come out and celebrate my 1 year of streaming. Well, I shouldn't say of streaming like officially, but I count it as my streaming anniversary. So, so feel free to come out to that on Wednesday, next Wednesday, that is. If you have a Twitter, feel free to follow me on there as well as Instagram. The link is down in the panels. I will be releasing information about the upcoming podcast with a good friend of mine, Slev86. It's a wrestling podcast where we discuss many topics on wrestling. So that'll be on my channel at Botch TV. So that'll be something a little bit different than the RCW stuff. We will try to do it every week, but that's not always going to happen. So this week will be the first episode, hopefully. Sleb said he would message me, because I told him that I would be getting back to school. And I told him that my school won't interfere with my streaming too much. Because like I said, I don't have much homework. So, usually. So with that being said, I will give you guys some news in regards to the podcast and when that's going to start. So feel free to follow me on social media because that's where I'll be posting news and updates and stuff regarding that. I'm excited to start the podcast. It'll be something new and different. I've had radio experience at my college for a couple months, and that was a not so fun experience because I just didn't have a good co-host. But I will have multiple guests on the show. You can be a guest on the show if you want to. You don't even need to know anything about wrestling, but if you have something interesting that pertains to the topic, because a lot of the stuff about wrestling, like this first episode is going to be about what wrestling gives us fans and what we love about wrestling. And so that's going to be a more personal, in-depth thing rather than focusing on wrestling terms like heel and angle and all that terminology that, the casual fan may not know about. So, that's going to be a more personal episode, and we'll have some episodes like that. Like I said, with the interview that I set up with this guy that streams on Twitch, who's also a professional wrestler locally where he lives. So that's going to be a real good podcast episode as well. So with that being said, I will let you guys know whenever that happens, and we're going to go ahead and raid Zero. Show him some love. He's a real good dude, and I will catch you guys on the next stream.